Hello, welcome to White Threads FlossTube number 111. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been absolutely ages since I've done a video and I do apologise for that, but life has been happening here in the meantime. I have had a few emails from people just wanting to check that I'm okay. Yes, I'm doing fine, thank you. I just haven't really had anything to say and I've actually been quite busy, which is very nice. So probably the one thing that I need to tell you straight up is that I entered 2 pieces of embroidery in a competition at the Embroiderers Guild of New South Wales earlier this year. It was the inaugural Roma Field competition, which Roma Field was one of the first members of the guild, or one of the early members of the guild, who really focused on and taught traditional embroidery. So it's a traditional embroidery competition and they've named it after her, which is absolutely lovely. So I entered 2 pieces into the competition. I entered the masquerade mask that I made my daughter for, that I made for me to wear to my daughter's 21st, and I've since then given it to her as a gift. And I also made a Hardanger embroidery cushion. Trying to get that on the screen. I'm not very good at this. Yeah, that's better. And I think it's worked on 40 count linen with linen thread, and I wanted to make it a really beautiful piece with lots of cut work and that sort of thing. So I entered those 2 pieces in the competition. I was one of just a few people who entered more than 1 piece. You could enter up to 2, which I did. And I was absolutely thrilled to be awarded the winner in the tutors category, which was really lovely. I wanted to go in it to support the competition, but to come away with a win, the inaugural win in that category, was just absolutely lovely. So I thank the Guild for organising the competition. I think it's really good to be focusing on traditional embroidery. They've had a contemporary embroidery competition for many, many years, which I've never entered because my embroidery generally isn't contemporary. So the piece that won was the mask, and I did speak to one of the judges, and she was surprised that it was a piece by me because it was unlike my normal style of work, which is absolutely true, and that's why I enjoyed making it so much, because it is unlike anything I've ever made before. And she said the attention to detail in the finishing and in the reflecting of the design on one side to the other was just exceptional. So that was really lovely to hear her feedback on that. So those pieces were on display. All of the entries were on display for about a month, and that competition will run again in 2 years' time. So I think what they'll do is they'll have the Roma Field one, which is the traditional embroidery competition, 1 year, and then the next year they will have the Margaret Oppen Prize, which is the contemporary, and so they'll alternate between years. Yeah, so the other really big thing that I need to tell you is that I am working on a new book. And this has all happened actually reasonably quite quickly. It came about one of the Hardanger groups that I'm in. I think I'm in only one Hardanger group on Facebook. There was a discussion by a newcomer who asked what were the really good books to focus on for Hardanger embroidery. And so there were lots of suggestions made, amongst which were some of my books, which was really lovely. But there was one suggestion by a lady called Donna who said that she's been looking for about 40 years for a book on Hardanger filling stitches. And she suggested that I should be the one to take a look at doing that. So my ears pricked up at that, and I thought about it and I did a bit of research, and I realised that she's absolutely right. There is no book which is a compendium of Hardanger filling stitches, and so I thought, well, yes, I could be the one to write that. So I am writing a book. It's called Hardanger Filling Stitches, a step-by-step handbook, and my plan is that it will be published hopefully mid next year or late next year. That is the plan for now. I don't really have anything to show you from it at the moment, but just wanted to let you know that it is coming. I'm just really thrilled to be having have something to be working on again after quite a long time. In the time since finishing my last book, the Frisian White Workbook, and now, I have started quite a number of books. Normally when I write a book, I go overseas and I do research into a traditional style, and then I come back and I let it percolate through my head for some months and then eventually start writing. Well, I haven't felt safe to travel, so doing that has been extremely difficult for me, and all of the other books that I've started which didn't involve any travel just didn't really capture my attention, whereas this one has. It's definitely captured my attention. I don't need to go overseas to research it because I've already been overseas twice before, well no, once before, to research Hardanger embroidery, and I've been to Norway other times and still seen Hardanger embroidery there. So it's something that I haven't had to travel for, which is really quite a bonus for me at this stage. So yeah, that's on its way. I'm excited. I'm working really, really hard on it to get it out as quickly as I can, because I like to bring a book out every 2 years, and I'd like to stay to that timetable if I possibly can, which means halfway through next year. We'll just see how that goes. But that is my aim at the moment, and failing, you know, all sorts of disasters coming in and interrupting me, then that should be the way that it works, hopefully. So I would love it if you would share that news with your stitchy friends, particularly friends that love doing Hardanger embroidery, just to let them know that I am working on a new book. It's called Hardanger Filling Stitches, and I think that gives you an excellent idea of what is actually going to be in it if you're familiar with Hardanger. So that's all I have to say today. I think in future you should probably expect that you won't see very many videos from me. I will drop in from time to time and do them, but I am working so hard on this book, and I'm just not one to do a video when I have nothing interesting to say. I think that's a waste of my time and it's a waste of your time, so I won't be doing that. But I will drop in when I can and when I've got something to say, and I'll do another video on those occasions, but I don't think you should expect to see regular videos from me anytime soon. I'm sorry if that's a disappointment. I do feel that these videos were very much during a season, the season of the pandemic, when it was at its fullest. I mean, it's still going on, but when many people were in lockdown, this was a good thing for me to do for them and for me to do for me. And I'm hoping that season is now over. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time, whenever that will be. Thank you. Bye.